I gotta admit, this place has all the makings of a horror movie. Seriously, what kind of a guy calls a place Rotwood? Sounds like the name of a lousy punk band.
I think one of my favorite things about making these videos is that I managed to find an excuse to dive into random demos I find on Steam. Leads me to some interesting gems, especially in the survival horror genre. The latest of which is Flesh Made Fear, a fixed camera survival horror title brought to us by Tainted Pact. I think the first thing I noticed is that while the game is listed as a PS1 style game, it seems more like an in-between of the PS1 and PS2 generation. It's like a game that was delayed at the last moment to release on the PS2. But I'll get to the graphics later. What has brought our squad of meat sacks to the quiet town of Rotwood? Well, it starts with one Dr. Ripper, who worked on MKUltra. A fun little rabbit hole that definitely won't lead to any consequences. Well, our doctor kept pushing what he could achieve, even sampling a bit of his own drugs. This self-dosing led to him going AWOL and visiting the small town of Rotwood, which has gone quiet. Making matters worse is that an operative sent in hasn't checked back, and now a full team of RIP operatives must go in. Their objectives are simple: find their operator and kill Dr. Ripper. I'm not sure where our squad falls on the scale of Umbrella Death Squad and Star's team member, but considering the lack of a reception, we will have to wait for the full release. For right now, the bridge is raised and our team has to split up. Despite the game making it pretty clear there will be two protagonists, the demo only allows us to play the weapon specialist. The demo takes its time, having the player explore a linear path through the forest, finding signs of violence and finding answers to locks. A creaky bridge results in a lost radio and cuts us off from our team. I won't do a full play-by-play, but suffice to say, your team is missing, zombies are everywhere, and something worse is out there. Well, the first thing I discovered was that the game looks great, but the flashlight is a bit bothersome. It's dynamic and will swing around when running. In combat, it will often be directed away from your target, casting them in darkness. The part that really annoyed me was that while running, your arms and gun will cast large shadows. It's not a deal breaker. If anything, the combat led to more headaches, but I would still like to see it changed so as not to register the arms or have a much smaller shadow. But let's look at the combat. Well, for a start, melee is immensely more powerful than you might expect. I know there's RE professionals out there who can knife Nemesis, but here it basically requires no skill. With dual kukris, which is badass, you can outpace the enemy, and with the model pushing forward, you essentially stunlock them. Another criticism is that you don't rotate on the spot. Instead, you're required to tap the B button to lock onto a different target. While the melee is overpowered, at least for this character, it feels weird that combat has you pressing a button to switch targets, though there are enemies introduced that suicide bomb the player, making melee a poor choice. Standard enemies also explode, but this does nothing, apart from look cool and remind me of Department 19 vampires. I did find the gun combat a bit nostalgic, as the laser sight reminds me of the third-person aiming from Extermination, a title to cover another day. The puzzles in the game are largely fine, none super challenging, relatively easy if anything, serviceable for a demo. What might not be serviceable to some is the voice acting.
Stick to your roles, keep comms tight, and watch each other's backs. If the Ripper is there, he's mine.
I don't know, Cat. I mean, we're good. This is Ripper guy. He's not just another bad guy. He's a ghost rampant crazy. We all read the file.
It's in a bit of an odd place. VAs sound like they're trying to go for a monotone style and a homage to classic survival horror. Meanwhile, they have a bit of inflection here and there, some more than others. Save for this shady looking guy, who I suspect would be played by Richard Brake if this got a movie. That isn't an insult either.
I'll have you know, I'm excellent at truck babysitting. It's a specialized skill.
I have no problem with this, but some may. What I had more of a problem with was that the text moves like it's being typed, which can result in it being a bit slow to what's being said, and each piece of dialogue has you press a button to continue. I prefer a way to have it just play automatically. Also, while I have concerns for the VA work of the team, the Doctor's tapes are the best voice acting in the game. You retrieve these tapes with a QTE while reaching into the mouth of a tree for Mortal Kombat. However, surprisingly, it doesn't damage you if you fail. You see blood spurt, but nothing happens to you. What's more is that you only fail if you don't press a button in the very generous time limit. You can hit the wrong button all you want, so just spamming all 4 buttons speeds you through the minigame.
The human mind. Such a fragile, malleable thing. In my early days with the MK Ultra project, they called me a pioneer. We sought to unearth the keys to control, to unlock the code of consciousness itself. I devoted my life to it. The serums, the stimuli, the tests. What we accomplished was extraordinary.
Another problem was the occasional glitching. Only had one that required a restart. I went to enter the ranger station, and for some reason it kept the outside camera while my character was inside. Besides that, I had no trouble. Going out on a positive here, I want to say that the music is great. Synth heavy, coming off like a Carpenter film. I really do look forward to this title coming out. While the melee is overpowered, I think in the full game the developers will be able to find means of mitigating its usage against various enemies. Additionally, I want to replay as the other character. The map you receive does show there is a path for her to endure. Finally, we start off with an NPC following us. Will we ever be fighting alongside our team, or was that just an opening one-off? We'll have to wait and see. If you haven't already, give the rather meaty demo of Flesh Made Fear a try, and if you have played it, comment below your thoughts. This is one drive-in horror tale I won't be missing.